So let's talk about selling your house. So for all you sellers out there or people that are thinking about selling, here are going to be 10 things that you should not do. Let's talk about the fact that selling your house can be super intimidating. And so there's a lot of things that you should do, and there's a lot of things that you shouldn't do. So they kind of all tie together. Actually, what you shouldn't do is attached usually to what you should. But anyway, so number one we're going to talk about is don't spend big money on improvements. That doesn't mean that you don't want to do things to set yourself in a good competing standpoint with other neighboring listings, but you want to make sure that you don't overspend. So a good rule of thumb is that if it costs you $2,500 to redo your bathroom, then you should be able to get at least $10,000 back on your investment. So $2,500 will give you 10. That's a pretty good return on your investment. If a homeowner knew that they were going to make about $80,000 extra and they had to spend 10, then it's kind of a no-brainer, spend the 10. But you don't want to overspend on something and then not get the return. So have a look at what the houses around you are selling for, and then you can sort of gauge what's necessary and what isn't. Number two, landscaping. Landscaping is a big one, so don't underestimate that the first impression of a buyer that comes through, they're going to look at your landscaping. So, and it's not expensive. You know, get some fresh mulch, get somebody to come and trim the trees, remove some things. You could probably do it even in a weekend yourself. I mean, curb appeal is definitely super important. If you are thinking about selling and you're going to sell, you know, maybe 6 months into the future, let's say your plan is to sell in the winter time. If you know your property looks its best in the summer, take some pictures or get a photographer in to take photographs in the summer. Save those photographs for when you are actually selling and everything's covered in snow, so that at least you can show people what your house is going to look like. So number three, don't ask more for your home than it's worth. So this is a big one. A lot of people think, okay, well now I've spent this money on improving it, so now I have to ask more. It's probably one of the biggest mistakes that people can make. I mean, if you overprice your property, I mean, this is not like selling something on the internet where, you know, you can put your price out there and you hope somebody will barter. I mean, there is of course the opportunity to negotiate, but in a lot of times people search in blocks. And when they do that, when a buyer searches in a block of pricing, if you price yourself outside of that and not within the range of your competitors, they're not even going to see your property. Number four, so don't leave clutter in your closet. This is kind of a funny one because a lot of people think, okay, well, we'll just shove everything into the closet and nobody will know. But the truth is that buyers, when you're taking them through a property, they look in your closet. They look at the organization, and if things are just stuffed in there, it gives the impression that maybe there's not enough space. Another thing people don't know is they look in your fridge, and not only to see if they like the appliance in general, but sometimes they just kind of look at what kind of people are living there and what you have in your fridge. Or maybe that's just me that does that, I don't know. Anyway, so don't leave clutter in your closet. Better to take it right out of your house so you don't get the impression that there's not enough space. Number five, don't forget odors. So odors in your house is a big deal. I've actually listed quite a few homes that have had pets, and I love pets, I love dogs, but it's really, really important that you don't offend anybody that doesn't maybe like dogs or doesn't have one or maybe has allergies. Sometimes, you know, if there's an estate sale and the house has been locked up for a while, you know, there could be some, you know, stale odors, or if somebody smokes, you can actually rent ozone machines and you can take care of odors that way. But odors, you know, and actually on the flip side of that, a lot of people think that putting in air fresheners is a good thing, but some people are also offended to that. So if you're really sensitive to smells in general, it kind of works both ways, nice smells and not so nice smells. When a buyer's looking at your home, they are looking at the details. So make sure your light fixtures work, your appliances, your doors are not hanging off the hinges, you know, are the windows clean? Pay attention to these little things. They don't take long to really kind of they don't really you could take a weekend and just go around and paint your baseboards or recaulk the bathtub. It's not a big deal, and it makes a big deal because buyers generally think that things cost about 3 times what they actually do to repair. Number 7, don't decorate with political affiliations, family portraits, or bear rugs. Try to decorate with super neutral palette, especially if you're selling. If you're a hunter, that's great. Maybe put your things aside in the meantime because because it's not a good idea. All right, so and family portraits in that, maybe your son or something had a fight with this person's son at school, and now you don't want to buy their house because the kids hate each other. I don't know. Regardless, personality, take it out of the house. It's not a good idea. Number 8, don't add a urinal to your bathroom upgrade. Apparently, urinals are a big no-no. I don't know, but I haven't seen too many urinals in the houses I've shown. But if you're thinking about putting one in, don't, because apparently you don't get a return on your investment. Bidets, I don't see those very often. I do in some of the older, European kind of style homes. I think they're pretty cool. I don't know how often they get used, but don't add a urinal. Number 9, and this was also surprising for me, don't add a sunroom or don't enclose your deck. Sunrooms are a lot of maintenance. You've got to clean the glass. Sometimes they leak. Sometimes there's water seepage or seals that go missing. And you have to. They just take a lot more maintenance, and you lose outdoor space. So if you're thinking about putting in a sunroom to enhance your square footage, it's actually not a good idea for resale. It's better if you have a deck or a patio. Number 10, which is the last one, don't get too trendy. So trendy meaning, you're following the latest, brightest colors. You can paint and you can spruce up things and you can stage, but it's super important to not always go with the hottest paint colors for that time. It's better to kind of keep to a neutral blank canvas, neutral palette, neutral furniture styles if you're going to stage. Really, really simple. Because the point of staging and the point of decorating, especially when you're going to sell, is so that people can envision their own things and not necessarily just the ones that you have there. So hopefully these 10 things that you should not do will help you if you are thinking about putting your house on the market. I do have some really good do-it-yourself tips for a lot of these, so feel free to PM me if you like any of those. And I hope you guys are all having an amazing Tuesday.